Hello Facebook, hello guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, you're welcome. It's been a while. I haven't been on Facebook for some time. I have been busy. With Get Back Up. I posted a link. I think last week. And it has been awesome. It has been awesome for all the members that clicked the link, and they have been benefiting so much from the classes, and we have been having a great time. I wanted to talk today about decision. I wanted to talk about, the fear that makes you unable to make a decision. And mostly I wanted to talk to the ladies that we have in the group, the ladies that we have on here on Facebook. I wanted to just, talk a little bit about this issue of being unable to make a decision. Just a second. Let's see. So, okay. So I wanted to just open, the dictionary, and so we can define what a decision actually is according to the dictionary, and then we could go down briefly to talk about what it is that I really wanted to communicate this morning. According to the dictionary here, let's see. Okay, quality of being decided, prompt and fixated determination, unwavering firmness. Okay, there's another decision here. Let's see. The act of deciding, or act of settling or terminating. Okay, so deciding or a decision is something that is an internal process. Decision is an internal process that allows you to take a stand about something. It allows you to take a stand and take a position. So if you have two conflicting ideas, or two conflicting situations, or two conflicting occurrences, decision allows you to pick a stand and stick to it. But oftentimes what we find is that, especially for we ladies in the area that I want to talk about, what we find is that we are unable to make a decision about certain things. And I'm going to get to that in a second. We're unable to make decisions that are necessary for our peace of mind, decisions that are necessary for our growth, decisions that are necessary for our moving forward with our lives. We are unable to make those decisions, not because we cannot really take a stand, but there are certain driving factors that, make us unable to make decisions or to take a stand. For example, your family. You want to make a decision about how much you want to take care of your family or not. You want to make a decision about how much you want to be involved in people's life in your family or not. See, let me tell you something about the African culture. This is what I think from my observation, from what I've seen over the years. We have a dependency mentality. We believe that if and this is not specific to any family, by the way, but we believe that if someone is able, someone is well placed in any position, the other people in the family, extended, immediate, tend to think that they need to depend on that person. Okay, and we are trained to depend on people, as opposed to being an individualistic approach to living. Okay, and that's the way it is. It's something that is passed down culture. It's culture. It's been passed down from generations. So you find that as a young girl, as a young guy, you are just starting off, and you really want to I'm not saying that it's wrong to look after your family, okay? Not at all. But I'm saying that you need to take a stand. I'll give you an example. You have this, relatives or brothers or whatever, and for whatever reason, when you were growing up, you put your head down, you got it straight, you were able to, do the things that you needed to do to get to where you are in your life right now. And you have all these people who are unable to do that because they have a fallback plan. You are their fallback plan. So you enable them to continue to depend and be unable to take a stand and be people, be someone, be this person that can actually look after themselves. They are unable to think that they need to take responsibility for their lives. Okay, so you are there providing all this support, doing all of these things, ensuring that you reach out to them, ensuring that you have all of this support that you provide. But you have all these people in your family who cannot understand that they need to step up and look after themselves for whatever reason. So family is a place where it's a space where you also need to make a decision. You need to take a stand on what you're going to do or what you're not going to do, or what you're going to support, or what you're not going to support. It's high time we stop enabling people. We need to encourage people to take responsibility for their life. That's the reason why we are where we are. All right, I'll get back to that in a second. Another area that we need to make decisions is with work. You have a situation at work, you have something going on in your job or in your business, you need to make a decision. So this life, we cannot go through this life without decisions, okay? And there are things that stop us from making decisions, but we'll get to that in a second. In your personal life, what are your standards? What do you think you should? What do you think that is good for you or not? Why are you dating that guy? Why are you friends with that girl? Because you're friends with this girl, and that's another point too. Friends, it's an area where we need to make decisions. Why are you friends with that girl? Every time you're around that girl, you feel like she puts you down. Every time you're around the boy, you feel like he puts you down. But why do you still be around the boy or be around the girl? You see, the problem is not with the boys or with the girl. The problem is not with the friends. The problem is with you. You are unable to make a decision not to be with them anymore because you are afraid of something. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. You are in that relationship and you are not happy. Oh, by the way, I'm not a relationship expert, but I am an advocate for using your mind, for using yourself as a determining factor to what happens in your life. That's what I'm about. Okay? Why are you with that guy? You don't really like him. There's something about him that turns you up. The way he treats you, the way she talks to you. She doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect you. You have all of this drama going on while you're still there. The question is, why are you still there? It's because you are unable to make up your mind to either leave or address the problem. And that is because of something. And we're going to get to that in just a second. And so it is necessary, okay, for us to be able to make a decision in our life. You should be able to make up your mind. Don't be on the fence. The reason is because it gives you peace of mind. It gives you peace of mind. It gives you a focus. When you are able to make a decision about whatever, it gives you a focus. You have this wife, and she is very she's for whatever reason, she doesn't support you. She doesn't make you feel like this. I'm talking to the husbands now. She doesn't make you feel like you are being she doesn't help you save, for example. She doesn't support your decisions. You need to make a decision what you want to do about that, as opposed to just living like that. Because what that does is you keep living like that, and it accumulates in your mind. Hate accumulates, bitterness accumulates. You have all of these friends that are doing these things to you, and you don't confront them. You don't say anything. It goes up in your head, and one day there is a burst. One day about something that you should have addressed 10 years ago. Okay, you want to sit down, make a decision, and then communicate that decision to the people involved. You have brothers and sisters. You have people in your family that you are responsible for. They need to also show some level of responsibility. You want to sit them down, you want to tell them about that, okay? Because all this indecision stops you from moving forward with your life. Look, let me tell you what I'm about. What I'm about is about helping you move forward with your life. Whatever it is that is holding you, the mental block, the thing that is holding you in your head, that is not allowing you to move from point A to point B, or from point A to point C, and then skipping over the point B. Whatever that thing is, look, there is really nothing that should hold you back. You should be able to make up your mind against culture, for the love of God. You should be able to make up your mind. If culture says, girls are not supposed to be this way, the question I usually ask is, so who set up that culture? Someone did. Why did they also set up that culture? And how useful is that culture to what it is that you want to do currently in your life? And if it is not useful, please, you can actually let go of that culture, and as opposed to letting it hold your life. I'm not saying go preach about it and try and change the world and everything. No, because it's difficult to try and change a culture that has been long-standing for a long time. But it is not difficult to make up your mind what you want to see in your own life and within your space in this day and age. Okay, so it is necessary because it gives you peace of mind. It allows you to focus. It reduces your problems to a manageable degree. Okay, it reduces your problems. It helps you to pick your battles. The decision, the power of decision helps you to take to pick your battles. The power of decision gives you standard. Now, standard, it doesn't have anything to do with being arrogant. No, especially for the ladies. For example, if you think that certain things, you're too good for certain things, it's okay for you to be too good for certain things. Not everything works for everyone. For example, some ladies are in relationships where they get violated all the time, they are beaten all the time, but they don't think that they should get out. Why? Why do you think that you shouldn't get out? There is reasons. I'm going to get to that in a second. But the point is, if you think that is not good enough for you, then you should be able to accept that you are worthy enough to not receive that kind of treatment, and you should make a decision about it. If you think that you are in a relationship and you feel abused, you feel disrespected, and it's, over and over, and there's nothing that can be done about it, you should not endure that. You should address the issue, and if it is not possible for you to address the issue or for the issue to go away, then you should make a decision about that situation. If you feel like your boyfriend or your girlfriend talks to you about your body and makes you feel inferior, makes you feel like you're not good enough, makes you feel like, or even friends, makes you feel like, you start to question your self-confidence, you should address that. If you cannot address that, then maybe you should leave them alone. So my point is, there is benefit to making up your mind. What is that situation that you are in? Look, it is written, you are neither hot nor cold. I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. God said that. God don't even like people who cannot make up their mind. Pick a point, pick a stand, okay? Pick somewhere and take a stand and stick to it. All right? Okay. I just saw a message. All right. Oh, hello, Uwem Zoe's Beauty. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. So there are 3 reasons, I think, why we are unable to make decisions. And there's this saying, I don't know if you know, but there's this saying that if you know what it is that you are fighting, if you know your enemy, it is easier for you to know how to attack your enemy if you know who or what your enemy actually is. So one of it is fear. And this fear is something that happens in the head. You cannot decide whether to leave because you are afraid that you might not find someone else. You are afraid that people are going to talk about you. You are afraid that your life is going to be a mess. You're not going to have any form of resources any longer because this is your source of income. You want to abort that baby Why? Because you are afraid that you might not be able to take care of that child. You are afraid in your head that people are going to talk about you. You are afraid that the church is going to reject you. You are afraid that your friends are going to be ashamed of you. You are afraid of all your family is going to reject you. You are afraid that you are going to get thrown out. Fear causes indecision. So whenever you are unable to make a decision, think about it. Why are you really unable to make this decision? Okay? And name the thing that you actually fear. Because I did a video way back. There is something very powerful about putting a name to what you are afraid of. There's something very powerful about putting a name to anything that you are afraid of. When you put a name to it, it reduces it to something that is a lot more manageable. Okay? So you want to give that fear a name. Secondly, one of the things that makes us unable to make a decision is control. You want to control everything that happens in your life, that happens around you, that happens with people. You want to be involved in everything. You must control the situation. You want to control the outcome. You want to ensure that the outcome has to be this way, where you're going to have problems. Because if you must control every outcome in your life, first of all, you are going to have problems with happiness. You're not even going to be a happy person. So you don't want to, be indecisive just because you want to control everything. It's not necessary to control, because you cannot even control everything. And because of that, you will not be able to make the decision that you need to be. You can control a man's actions. You can control a girl's actions. You can control the actions of your family members. But you can control the way that you decide to respond. That's what you can control. Another thing that, the third and the last thing I'm going to talk about that, makes us unable to make a decision is pressure. You're thinking, oh my God, I need to do this. This is what I need to do. People are coming around you and saying, oh, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Blah, 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 blah. You're hearing from your family. You're hearing from the culture. You're hearing from the society. You're hearing from your environment. You're hearing from your peers. You're hearing from everyone else except you. You're hearing from everyone else except you. But somewhere at the back of your mind, you know what it is that you are supposed to do about the situation. How about you shut everything out, listen to your mind, and make that decision that is good for you. So I want to give you my 2 tips, things that I do in my own personal life that help me make decisions. Oh, and I have made difficult decisions. I've made decisions that were really difficult, but I'm very happy about those decisions. I do not regret one of those decisions because they came from me. Okay? So these 2 tips are going to help you, I hope, to be able to look, you are responsible for your own life. If someone else makes a decision in your life for you, you're not going to be a happy person. But that person would have offered their advice, would have offered their influence, would have offered their pressure, and they would have gone with their life. But you will be stuck with the problem that came out from the decision that they influenced you to make. So you want to be careful, especially about life decisions. If you're going to have a baby, if you're going to be in a relationship, who are you going to get married to? You want to be careful about making those kinds of decisions. So I'm going to give you 2 of the things that I do for myself, and they have helped me tremendously. 1, worst case scenario analysis. One of the things that I do is, if I have a situation in front of me, if I have a situation that I need to make a decision about, I take a piece of paper and I ask myself certain questions and I write the answer down. What is the worst that can happen if I make decision A? I put down the answer. What is the worst that can happen if I make decision B? And I put down the answer. Now, if this happens, what's the worst that can come out of it? What's the worst that can come out of it? So I do that kind of analysis and I come up with the worst case scenario. What is the worst that can happen if I leave this boy? I probably, because I'm not particularly young and maybe I don't really hang out that much, I might not find someone else. Okay. So what if I don't find someone else? What's the worst that can happen? Well, I guess I end up alone and I'm always lonely, and I don't really have friends, and I don't have a child because I don't get married, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. So if those things don't happen, what is the worst that can happen? So you keep going until you get to the worst case scenario. Then you ask yourself, can I live with this worst case scenario? And if the answer is yes, there's your decision. If the answer for you is yes, there is your decision. For me, that's what I do. Because sometimes there is a lot of blessing in the decisions that we want to make based on, without all of the influences, right? But we are unable to do that because we are asking questions all over the place. We're getting opinions all over the place. I'm not saying that getting an opinion or a second opinion or talking to people, whatever, is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you want to make a decision that works for you. You want to make a decision that works for you. So you need to do this prayerfully. You need to do this. You need to meditate. It's a process, okay? And you need to be really honest about it. If you are not okay with being alone, then maybe you shouldn't leave the guy. If you are not okay, but if you think that you are worth it, if you think that you are worth anything, if you think and believe in yourself, then you will know that there are so many people in the world. Sorry, that was a call coming in. There are so many people in the world, everywhere, and that cannot really be the end. It depends on what you believe to influence your decision. The second thing that I do is to let go. I just let go. When situations get all crazy and I don't really know what to do, I just let it go. So I'm supposed to be in this really, fantastic, how do I put it down? I'm supposed to be in this really fantastic relationship with my family members, with, everyone in my family. But for whatever reason, that is not happening. And that is not happening because I don't want to be used, or you don't want to be used, or you don't want to do certain things, or you are not comfortable with certain things, or you find it, certain things just don't rest well with you. And because of that, no one wants to agree with you. Well, that's fine. Just let it go. Give it time. Just let it go and give it time. You must not address every issue immediately head on. You can let it go. Time has a way of sorting things out. Trust me. So these are the two things that I do that help me with my decision making. And you don't have to be afraid. You seriously don't have to be afraid. One of the reasons why you are afraid, like this is the end of your life, is because you don't have a life. Because if you have a life, you will be too busy thinking about what you're supposed to do in your life next, that you won't have much time thinking what you are going to lose if you make a decision that is good for you. So my point today is that you should be able to make up your mind to stay or not to stay based on what you think is good for you, as opposed to what everyone else thinks. All right. So I just wanted to communicate that to all my ladies. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Uwem, thank you so much for joining me, and I really appreciate the support. For those of you that are going to watch the replay, I hope that this helps someone decide what it is that they want to do. Look, the power lies with you. Okay? Culture may say one thing, but if it's not okay for you, you should do what is okay for you. Thank God in this day and age, some of these things, are beginning to lose the value, the hold that they really had on us. You can be anything you choose to be in this world. You are whoever you say that you are. If in your family you are a lost cause, and you decide in your mind that you are not a lost cause, and you do the things that people who are not lost causes do, you will not be a lost cause. Trust me. And if you decide in your mind that God is the person that you rely on, look, life will turn out very beautifully for you, no matter how many demons are in your family. Trust me. So, just the same way that God leverages on your will and everything to do things in your life. Fear, the devil, and all of those things, they also leverage on your will. If you give in to them is when they will use you. Okay? So you want to be strong. You want to believe in yourself. You want to believe in yourself. You want to believe in your decision. You want to trust your instinct. You want to trust your instinct. Your instinct tells you that this ain't right. Chances are that it is not right. So you want to be able to go back into yourself and think about the things that actually influence the decisions that you make. Don't be afraid to make that decision. You've been in that relationship for what? 5 years, 10 years. Why are you still there? There's no ring on your finger. Why are you still there? You should be able to make a decision about what you want to do in that kind of relationship, because you are worth more than that. You are absolutely worth more than that. Okay, so you want to make that decision and open up the opportunity for yourself. You want to make the decision to have your baby if you're pregnant. You want to do that. You want to make it, believe me, is the best thing that you can do for yourself. I'm not encouraging people to go do that, but I'm saying that if you have that kind of situation in your hand, you don't have to take the high road. No, because it is not the end of the world. It is absolutely not the end of the world. And trust me, the whole societal rejection and everything, there is a process you can go through in your head to get over that, you know? And because it depends on what is happening in your head. So someone in your family that you're responsible for stresses you up and you don't feel appreciated, well, you can make a decision about that. All right? You don't have to encourage, dependency, and you don't have to encourage it. Yes, I'm not saying don't support people. You should support people. But you should make people responsible for themselves. That's the only way your support is going to make sense. All right? So, okay, before I go off blabbing, I'm going to go off and go away now. And I want to just really, really, really thank you for joining me. And I hope this is useful. So, if this helped you in any way, I want to give you something to do, okay? Which will only take 2 seconds maybe of your time. I need you to comment below. Tell me what you took away from this discussion. What did you take away from this discussion? Let me know what you took away in the comment section. All right? Have a beautiful day. I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.